You're really never alone if you're a YouTuber because I'm constantly talking to you.
Oh, what a numpty. What an absolute numpty.
And I was completely banned off a local Facebook page.
Right, so this is my ice flame. Does the strat system that goes around your mat actually, are they long enough?
Such a good decision to stay the night.
Beautiful.
How stunning is that, eh? Done it! Woohoo! Just so that you know that it finally finished. Oh, gotta be better than drinking ultralights the last 3 days. Oh, good morning, folks. So it'll be Saturday the 4th of January. It's currently around about 20 to 8 and I'm at Daly's clearing hut. This happens to be the very first hut that I ever stayed at in the Kaimais. So look, the situation last night is I walked all around the perimeter here, right out to the toilet, which is about half a mile away, to see if I could get some Wi-Fi. I even walked back up the track again. What happened last night is I came in and straight away I went to the information board and it said that I had another 5 hours to either get to Karangahake Gorge or via the Tiara Mountain. My heart just sank. So I certainly would have had it in me to do 4 hours, but 5, coming out at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then, as I said last night, I sort of came to the realization that would still mean that I haven't done it in 3 days because I was about a couple of hours into the next day. So I decided the best thing would be to stay alive so I can carry on making wonderful adventure videos for you. And I hope you'll feel the same way as that. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a leisurely hike out, and at least this way you'll get to see the rest of the track too. So that's probably thinking about you a lot more than me being selfishly trying to get out last night. I'll quickly show you around the hut. It's your standard bunk system. What's really cool though is that bunks on either side, and you got the kitchen in the middle. I mean, I actually don't think this hut's too shabby. There's quite a bit of mould going on, so it probably could do with a bit of a clean up. I don't see a love your hut anywhere. No, maybe this wasn't part of the Love Your Hut campaign, FMC, which if you haven't seen, go up to Wangaihu. Man, I posted that I think just before I came in here, and it's gone off. About 1,400 people have watched that. Highest hut in the North Island, so go to that link. My sleep system. This is my ice flame. I purchased this off AliExpress for less than $300, and it's about a 700 loft. They say it's comfortable to -2 degrees. I kind of doubt that a little bit. I certainly haven't been cold over the last 3 nights, but I've yet to test it out in a really cold temperatures. Now, some of the things I just need to show you. Here's a toe box. Where you can completely unzip this, and there's a little bit of a place here that you can cinch up. Now, just to stop any possible drafts, what I did is I just cinched up my socks into it. So you got a small hole there, and I just stopped any draft. Now the question that us New Zealanders need to ask ourselves is, does the strat system that goes around your mat actually, are they long enough to go on these standard huts? And the answer is yes. Yes it is. There are 2 strats. So they connect onto the side on these little clippies things here. And in my case they come right over to the other side, and it's right at its max, but if it was a little bit narrower you would just
tighten those up. So there's 1 and 2 of those, and that effectively just keeps your quilt connected to your mattress. I never thought I'd be sold on a quilt, but I think I am. I'm starting to prattle now as I'm finding things to chat to you about now that I'm all alive. Sorry about that, but yeah, that I'm alive. I'm going to have some coffee, the last piece of coffee that I've got. That should fire me up, and then I'll be out of here. Oh, what a numpty. What an absolute numpty. I went to go and stick this on, but of course this is all back to front. Let's have a look. If I pour the hot water into there, if I pour that into there, flip it over, maybe give it another stir. What a numpty. And pull this back into there. Can you hear that caffeine dripping? Oh, yeah. Nothing like a good plunge. Not a bad little campsite, this. Right, highs and lows. The low would be, I come up, I think it's called 1,000 meadows or acres, and I couldn't find the route coming in up to Mototaperi Hut. I could see that we're only about 300 meters away from it, and in my confidence I thought I could just traverse across with my nav skills, in which I was able to do, but it was pretty thick going, and I think as a result of that, that's where I lost my Joby tripod legs, so I've got to replace that. I hate to do this, but there is the option, if you're one of those sort of people that are looking for ways to say thanks other than writing thanks or writing comments, there's a super thanks below, and I tried to set up a buy me a coffee. I love my coffee, and I buy an absolute ton of it and grind it myself. The low would be, I'm a little disappointed actually with the lack of information, particularly with that track closure. Sadly, a very unfortunate thing happened to me last year. It's interesting, 3 people that I've met on this trip said, hey, I heard that you got banned from the Kaimai Track and Hut users group. And I said, yeah, I did. What did you hear about it? I said, oh, not much, though, just that you just got dropped. Where I posted photos only, no GPS trail, no go to my channel, no links, and I was completely banned off a local Facebook page, which is kind of essential for me, for my intel and for my own safety. And so I really don't have any way to reach out amongst the Kaimai community to find out the finer details. I just want to be part of the community. I love hearing your stories with what's happening in the Kaimai. So I don't know, if there's anybody else out there watching that follow me and feel the same way I do, it seems a little bit extreme, well, maybe you could push more barrel for me. Either I'm really slow, or there's a little bit of miscommunication around time and distances there. So that added another 4 hours, and that would have allowed me to be out last night. But anyway, I don't want to start here with a bitch session. So that would be the lows. My intel, I have to do a lot of it myself. That's my point. Body wise, I'm fine. I can feel my thighs are a little bit tight. Energy levels, I'm absolutely fine. Highs, look, I've covered a whole lot of tracks I haven't been on before. I found some really cool spots that I'm going to come back and probably wild camp at if I get some time. Just trying out my gear. I absolutely love that quilt. I love the new Nature Hike pack. I'll try to do a review on those, but if not, they've worked out really well. What else is my highs? You know, when you're solo hiking, you're really never alone if you're a YouTuber, because I'm constantly talking to you. It's like having you in the room with me or on the trail with me. You're kind of my company, my sanity. just that you can't talk back to me. You can't say, listen here, you numpty, you shouldn't be doing that. Oh, we better get going. This is my trusty old lancewood pole. It's a bit thick on the end. I tell you what, using this pole, which I started using on day 2, has actually made a bit of a difference to my hips. So yep, there is some value I think in having poles. Certainly no value in having really expensive ones, because this is my 3rd one now. There's probably been a whole lot of people walking through the North South Track going, who is this wonderful person that's been cutting down and making these really nice hiking poles for us? Okay, we're on the road again. We're heading to Dickey's Flat. We'll be there. I think it's around about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Alright, so I'm just not too far away from Daly's hut. It's telling me Dickey's Flat is 3 hours 45. I'm really glad it didn't come through last night. That just would have been a little bit silly. Hopefully I can find some Wi-Fi reception so I can get hold of my support team, i.e. my wife. A long-suffering, patient wife. Wow, that's incredible. Look at that. I would have missed that if I come through at night. What a great decision this was. I'm 1.3k north of Daly's hut, and I've just picked up my first Wi-Fi and rung Rachel. And it's all good, it's all good. That crisis has been averted. I can now continue hiking with some peace of mind. It's a beautiful day, and I thank God for the weather. It's a beautiful day, and I'm living it my way. Yesterday, Grumpy Dave was coming out. Today, Happy Dave is back out again. Such a good decision to stay the night. Dean's Track is that way, that goes back to Frankton Road. But I'm going to carry on through to Dickey's Flat, 3 hours away. So Dean's Track, if you're not familiar, you do actually come across some farmland at the start and then through some lovely bush in order to get to Daly's clearing hut. I've actually done that at night a few times. Yeah, you know what, I don't think I've actually walked from this point through to Dickey's Flat, so I'm just so excited that I'm finally getting to do all these little bits and pieces that I haven't done, because I sort of come in and out at different points, which is the magic of the Kaimai North South Track, is there are so many east and western in and out routes. Oh, that was a bit of a challenge. I'd imagine if a bit of water come through, that would actually be a very difficult river to cross. I'll, if I can find out what it is, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. The last river crossing was Mangakino, and this one is the Waitawheta River. Yeah. Where am I going to go? Probably that way. We're going to get our feet wet, folks. Just sitting here trying to find the best path. You always look for the orange triangle directly over there. That generally indicates the best route, so from here to there. Oh, these rocks are real slippery.
wobbly. We're waiting for that fall, I know. Right, halfway. Oops, there it almost is. Got my feet wet now. Yeah, it's just that last little bit through there. I don't really see any other way.
Ginger nuts are normally so crunchy up until the point that you dunk them in your tea. But can I advise, if it's going to rain, don't put them in your side pocket ever again.
Okay, so that's a classic. I've just come up on two sets of people, and the other completely separate from the first, with their kids and a little dog. Anyway, they're going to the Dickey Flat waterfall. So as you come out of Dickey Flat Campsite, you would turn right, go through the tunnel, but they've actually turned left, so they were up. They were heading in to Daly's hut. So it's a really good thing I found them to turn them around. So we're in Dickey Flat car park, or campground if you like. As you can see, it is incredibly popular, and the gaggle of people behind me will probably follow me through now and come over to where they should be going. It's Dickey Flat Campground. Lovely little place. So you pay $10 per person per night there. This is the way that those people were supposed to be hiking. They went left instead of right. Probably saved them a heck of a lot of pain. How awesome is that, eh? So my times are going to be all over the place because one, rescuing two sets of people on the North South Track that thought that they were doing this Windows Walk and the waterfall walk, so put them right. And then I've been talking to quite a few campers on the way through and patting their dogs and things, so yeah, my time's all up the carbosh. So at the moment I'm just heading towards the tunnel. You'll see that in a minute. This is what they call the Waitawheta Pipe Walk, and I think this is something like about 300 metres. Pretty impressive, eh? Chances are we're going to strike somebody coming from the other end. It's silica. Look at the silica. Beautiful. Pretty popular, huh? That must be the waterfall that I'm thinking that they were talking of. Yeah, I'm probably best just to carry on and get back to my wife. I would have missed all of this had I come through here at night. What a wonderful mistake. Well, what a wonderful mistake that was, that I stayed at Daly's last night. This is the Waitawheta Pipeline Walk, and it is beautiful. Alrighty, Dickey's Flat, where we come from. 4k, 2 hours, and we're heading to the car park, 800 metres. The Windows Walk is through the tunnel up here. So the track is closed. So this is where people are getting wrong. They've been told that they can do this loop, and they can. It's this loop here. But it's been closed, and so they're carrying on down to Dickey's Flat thinking it's a loop, and that's how they've ended up on that North South Track where I rescued a couple of families. So yeah. So what everyone needs to be doing is going back through the Windows Walk. It's still 800 metres, but yeah, it's one way in, one way out. You can't do the loop by there. Anyway, this is why they call it the Windows Walk, all these air shafts. Ordinarily, you'd walk around there. How stunning is that, eh? So you can still see the old tram line here. Are we waiting?
Yeah, people are coming.
Good luck.
Yeah. Should never follow you.
Yeah, it does go further, I don't know how.
You're leading the way.
It doesn't go further?
No, it goes to the end of the stairs and then you got to come back.
But do we have to this way to come back?
Yes.
Okay, okay. But is it worth it to
Yes.
continue? Okay, thanks.
What is it? No shirt day today or something? What's going on? As I said earlier, the Windows Walk has been closed in terms of the loop, and it's sort of one way in, one way out. A bit confusing really, it's a bit disappointing. Doc should be doing something about some better signage here so that people don't get in trouble. Anyway, I'll swing around. We're just about at the car park and they're going to try to find a lift somehow. It's official. This is the end of the North South Track. Not too sure how many Ks that's been. Currently at the moment it's 2:45. I've been really diddle-daddling around today, just enjoying the day. Yeah. So, the end of the North-South Traverse. It's official. So let's just have a look at the feet going across the last of the line. Done it! Woohoo! Just so that you know that it finally finished. Alright, the next challenge is to try to find a lift. What are we going to do about that? Had a lot of fun, had a lot of pain, some disappointment, but at the end of the day I'm pretty damn happy that I finally completed it. Oh, now you got to love this. So I've just been given a lift. The guy was needing to turn at the old Tauranga Road, so I said, is there any chance you could just drop me off at Waikino Tavern, because it's a bit safer to stand on the side of the road for a hike. And I just rang my wife and said, hey, now look darling, you think you could just come and pick me up and I'll go and get a cold one? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and have a beer at the end of 3.5 days worth of hiking. How awesome is that? In fact, this is where Kurt and I ended up when we finished Stranger Danger, coincidentally enough. So look, it's definitely thank you and goodbye, and I hope you've really enjoyed it. Yeah, I will see you on the next epic adventure. Oh, that is so well deserved. Oh, gotta be better than drinking ultralights the last 3 days. Hey, that was awesome. We'll catch you on the next adventure now, shall we?